if even
Yes.
that.
We agree.
I agree.
I put down a unanimous vote at least once tonight.
Okay.
We're on
Is
live.
Mike with us?
Is everybody here but Mike? Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
All
Is
right.
Mike supposed to be here? Or?
I've not heard from him.
Okay.
Yeah, at least I have the right week now, Matt. I told Matt I wasn't going to be there last week, and he pretty much said, "Good, the meeting's next week."
Nobody was there, huh?
All right. Are you all ready to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is Kim Stamper, and I'd like officially to start the Scott County Board of Adjustment meeting for February 2021. We need approval of our January 7, 2021 meeting minutes, and I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, this is Janet. I have read the meetings. I make the motion that we approve the January the 7th, 2021 minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Janet has made the motion. Sonia's second. All those in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved for January 7 minutes. We will go on. We have no old applications, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then our new applications, we will start with S 2021-02. And if the applicant is present and would like to speak, then we will let Charlie swear them in.
Would you like me to go over the application first?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so this application is located at 800 South Dividing Ridge Road. They are requesting a variance. I noticed that actually at the top of all the staff reports this month, it does say conditional use permit application, but only one of these applications is actually a conditional use. But the body of the staff reports is fine. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 50 feet to 10 feet. The zoning of the property is A1. Okay, so this is an aerial image of the applicant's property. If you can kind of see the mouse on the screen, this is South Dividing Ridge Road here, sort of in the bottom right side of the screen. And so the applicant's property is addressed off that. The applicant is looking to put a house roughly in this location here. So you can see they're trying to take advantage of a part of the property that's not as heavily wooded and I guess sits also at the high point on the lot. There's no previous conditional use permit or variance applications on the site. I don't think that approval of the variance would negatively impact the public health, safety, or welfare, and that it would not alter the character of the general vicinity. The lot in question, the project site, is an undersized lot. It's a little over 2.5 acres in size. And so, as we've seen before with other lots out in the county, when lots aren't quite 5 acres in size or larger, sometimes the applicants, especially in the northern part of the county, have difficulty in finding buildable area within the 50-foot setbacks. And this lot is no exception. The high point and the least wooded part of the lot lays or sits in a position where they sort of necessitating that they request the variance that we're hearing today. And so with sort of the findings that it won't negatively impact the public health, safety, or welfare, it won't alter the character, it would allow for them to, or granting the variance would allow for them to have a reasonable use of the property due to topography and the trees that exist that are, I guess, already on the site, I am recommending approval of the variance request to reduce it, the side yard setbacks as shown sort of on this, on the slide now, and in the materials in the staff report, with the 3 conditions that are in the staff report, mainly being that they agree to abide by the subdivision and development regulations and the zoning ordinance. They agree to abide by all federal, state, local regulations. And thirdly, that they agree to obtain a building permit before they start construction of the house on the site.
All right. Thank you. Is the applicant present and would like to speak? If so, Charlie will swear you in.
Yes, we are here.
All right.
Yes, if the 2 of you would raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
We do.
Thank you.
If you want to speak to us, explain anything different than Matt has told us. What's your plan?
No, that was pretty much exactly our thought process. So, yeah, we've already spoken to the owner of all the land around us, and they, verbally said it was okay. So they knew this was happening. But yeah, he explained it pretty well. We're just going to be building kind of on that top part because the slope is pretty steep back behind there and pretty wooded. So really nothing to add.
Okay. Do any members of the board have questions for them?
Nope.
Okay. Do we have neighbors present regarding this document?
I don't see anyone with their hand raised at present.
Okay. Okay. Members of the board, are you ready to make a motion or any discussion on this matter?
Kim, I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve S-2021-02, taking into account the staff recommendations.
All right. Do I have a second?
This
I'll
is
second.
Janet. I'll second.
All right. Those all in favor to approve S 2021-02, say aye.
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 S 20-2102 approved, and Matt should be getting in contact with you soon.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. All right, then that moves us on to S 2021-03 for Haddock's Construction.
Okay.
Matt, we're ready.
This application is located at 204 Westwoods Drive, located in the Westwoods neighborhood. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 50 feet to 7.5 feet. The project site is zoned A1 agricultural. And so here you can see an aerial image of most of the lot in question. This kind of similar to other applications that Haddock's Construction has brought recently in the area. This is one of the 10-acre lots in the Westwoods neighborhood. There's no previous conditional use permits or variance applications for the site. And similar to some of the other lots, the applicant is seeking the variance to, I guess, build a little bit closer to the property lines just to make the building process a little bit more manageable. Let me go actually to the next screen. So just so we're all on the same page, so sort of outlined in pink here on this site plan is the 10-acre lot. I know sort of here on the plat, this is an older plat of the area. It was labeled as 11.13, but sort of this triangular portion down here to the west was actually transferred to a different lot. So the property boundary is now here with this pink line. The applicant is seeking to build the house here, where they've got this pink dot drawn, is my understanding. So I don't believe that approval of this variance would adversely impact the public health, safety, or welfare, and that it wouldn't alter the character of the property in the general vicinity. There are, as we mentioned with previous applications for the larger lots in Westwoods, there are sometimes topographical challenges with some of these lots that necessitate variances to reduce the 50-foot setbacks. And the applicant has not taken any actions that we would consider to be willful violations of the zoning ordinance. So I am recommending approval of the application with the same 3 conditions that we had in the previous application. Abiding by the local zoning regulations, abiding by federal, state, and local laws, and obtaining a building permit prior to any construction.
All right, thank you. Is the applicant present and would like to speak?
If I might interrupt a moment, Madam Chair.
Sure.
And I've told you all this before when Paul's been in. I'm doing other work for Paul Haddix. It has nothing to do with Board of Adjustment. I've not spoken to him about this application or to Matt about this application. So nothing I've done in any way should affect this. But I needed to tell you that anytime he comes in. And I guess I should also tell you, nor will I do anything that affects any business he might have before this board.
Okay. Thank you. Would you like to swear the applicant in, please?
That much I can probably do. Paul, are you there somewhere?
Thank you.
Paul, are you there?
Paul, you're still in.
I'm there. There we go. I'm here.
All right. If you could raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to give to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
I do.
Thank you.
Paul, would you like to speak in reference to this application to us, please?
Yes, please. As always, Matt does a superb job of giving valuable information for your consideration. The only thing I'd like to add is the 7.5 yard side yard setback is to the right, which is next to that triangular piece of land that had to be sectioned off. And I think that goes, and Matt, you might help me, I think that goes with lot 203 or address 203. And that was to make that area 10 acres. I think is, yeah, I believe that's what it is. So, but that triangular piece was deemed unbuildable. So there's nothing that can be over there. It was just a chunk of land sectioned off to make the other lot 10 acres. So that's one reason why I don't think it has any impact on the other lot. And lastly, the big reason is the homeowners that we're building for, as you can see to the far left of the lot next to 202, the house located at 202, there are large transformers right there, and we're just trying to move the house away from those transformers as well. But that's about it. I really appreciate if you would strongly consider this request.
All right. Do any other members have discussion or questions? I'll listen to a motion, entertain a motion if you all are ready.
Kim, I'll move that we approve
Should
S 202103. I'm sorry, Matt.
Sorry, we do have somebody who raised their hand.
Oh, sorry. All right. Would you like to speak to the board?
Yes, I live in the neighborhood and
Excuse me a minute. Is this Mr. Dew?
Dye, D-Y-E. I think it's spelled wrong on there.
Oh, okay. Well, would you raise your right hand, please, sir?
All right.
And do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make is the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
I do.
And your name again is D-Y-E?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And where is your home, please? What number?
195.
Okay.
But living in the neighborhood, all the houses on the street and everything's got a setback of 50. Everything's nice and uniform. This neighborhood is also a few years back, as you know, somebody got hit and killed on this road, and I just don't feel like it's good to put a house that close to the road.
Okay.
Matt, this is a side yard setback, correct? Not a
Yeah,
front.
I was going to say, if I may clarify, they're still looking to meet the 50-foot front yard setback. They're just reducing the setback as it pertains to the western property line.
Okay. All right. That's all I was wanting to know. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Sonia?
Yeah,
You were
I
in the
believe that
middle of-
satisfied his concern, so I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Move that we approve S 2021-03, the variance reduce the side yard setback at 204 Westwoods Drive, subject to staff recommendations.
Do I have a second?
This is Janet. I'll second.
All right. We have a first and a second. For all of
I
us
think
to vote, please.
Before we vote, I think Mr. Haddix has another comment.
Oh, go ahead. See, I can't see that. Sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I
Yes.
just want to make a
Yes.
correction to Mr. Dye's statement. His house is not 50 foot setback. It's 30 feet. So even though if we tried to, ask for a front yard setback reducing, it would still conform to the neighborhood and with his house and all others. So I just wanted to make that clarification, even though it doesn't apply here. But his house and all the smaller lot homes in there have 30-foot setbacks, not 50.
All right. Thank you for the clarification. Is there any other discussion? So we have a motion from Sonia, second by Janet. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of 2021-03. Mr. Haddix, I'm sure Matt will be in touch with you soon.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.
You
You're
too.
welcome.
All right, then that moves us on to S 2021-04. Now, this is a conditional use permit, Matt?
Yes, this one is a conditional use permit.
Okay.
application.
And Matt will listen to what you have to tell us about 614 Crumball Road.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This application is a conditional use permit. They're seeking that permit to have a secondary single-family residence for a family member. The project site, as you mentioned, is located at 614 Crumball Road. The zoning on the property is A1, and the project site is a little over 103 acres.
All right.
Looking at the aerial photo, I kept it zoomed in a little bit just so that we could keep the road frontage and keep some of the detail for where the house would be sitting in view rather than show the entire farm. But you've got Crumball Road down here in the bottom left-hand corner. And then basically this long driveway that comes back into the property. Here's the house at 614. It sits, as you can see, quite a ways back from the road. And the applicant's proposed home site, as we'll see on the next drawing, I believe they indicated it was in this area here. So the secondary single-family home would sit quite a ways back from Crumbaugh Road. Section 4.12 L of the zoning ordinance does list secondary single-family residence on the same tract for related family members or for hired farm workers as a conditional use in the A1 zoning district. The applicant stated in their application material that the proposed house is for a family member. The farm itself is more than large enough for the applicants to maintain a 1 dwelling per 5 acre density that is required by the A1 zoning district. And the location for the secondary single family residence, as you can see, this was material submitted by the applicant. I believe I measured it to be at least 100 feet from the existing residence. So should there be some sort of subdivision of the property in future, it doesn't look as though there would be a variance needed if one of the houses was going to be sold in the future.
Okay.
So the proposed use is a conditional use in the zoning district the project site is located in. The applicant has stated that the home is for a family member and the site is large enough to continue to meet our density requirements. So I am recommending approval of the application with the 3 conditions that are listed in the staff report. The same 3 conditions we had on the previous 2 applications.
All right, thank you. If the applicant is present, Charlie would like to swear you in, please.
Hi, yes, I am the family member of the applicant who's building, and my name is Savannah Perry.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm the statements you're about to give are the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please explain to us anything that Matt may have omitted. Or
Yes, absolutely. Just wanted to represent as a family member that my mother owns the farm, and we certainly are building this house to move into forever, and it will be our long-term home. And we're doing so to where my mother will stay in the residence that's currently there, and we can take care of her as she continues to age. And there are definitely no plans to divide it in the future.
all right. Do we have neighbors present who would like to speak as well? Matt, do we have any other?
I don't see any hands raised at this time.
Okay. So I know that this subdivision or living areas, the houses are around this area. Where is the closest home to this? Do you know how far away? I can't tell from the map. Sorry.
The closest neighboring home?
Yes.
I don't off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
So I can tell you the closest, the closest neighboring home to the lot would be, if you're looking at the drawing, it would be I believe oh, okay, there we go. 622 is the closest.
Okay.
622, yes. And yes, I would say that's the closest one.
Okay. Do we have any questions from members of the board?
I had one. Matt had said that he had measured it out and they would be the 100 feet apart. So you are planning on leaving 100 feet between the 2 dwellings, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And I believe it's going to be even more than that. We're moving up into the lot so that we can have, adequate backyard space for our children.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other questions or discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, this is Janet again. I'll make the motion that we approve application number S-2021-04 to approve the, let me get my papers back here together. The conditional use permit for a family member at 614 Crumball Road, approved with staff recommendations on the 3 conditions of approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I'll take Darren. Darren has second. All those in favor say aye.
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 S 2021-04 has been approved by the Board of Adjustments, and Matt
Madam
will
Chairman,
be.
Madam
Yes.
Chairman, can I ask one question? Ms. Perry, is Mary Bryce your mother?
No, she is not. I believe she lives down the road. My mother's Nancy.
Okay. I just saw her on the list. Very good. I just saw her on the list, and I wanted to say hello if she was. Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Very
Yes.
good.
Yeah, my mom's actually Nancy. She's really sad. She's having technical difficulties. We aren't with her right now, and she's not a big Zoom person, so she couldn't figure
Yeah.
out how to get on.
Very good.
All right. So Matt will be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then that moves us on to S 2021-05 for reducing the side yard setback at 160 Green Lane. Matt, we'll listen to what you have to say.
All right, thank you. This application, or I guess with this application, the applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 50 feet to 15 feet for the construction of a small solar array behind the house at 160 Green Lane. The applicant's property is zoned A1, as are all the surrounding properties. Looking here at the project site, we get an idea for sort of the layout of the land, if you will, as far as the existing conditions. You've got Green Lane down here towards the bottom of the screen. And the applicant has a long driveway, and the house actually sits somewhat towards the rear. So before, I guess, I go too much further, it is typical in residential areas like this for accessory structures, detached garages, sheds, things like that, to be only in the rear yard. So with that in mind, with the accessory structure the applicant is proposing, we would, considering the potential locations in the rear yard, we would not necessarily consider potential options in the front yard. So there are no previous conditional use permit or variance applications on file for this site. The drawing on the screen here shows the proposed location of the solar array with reference to the house. Staff does not think that approval of the variance would adversely impact the public health, safety, or welfare, and would not alter the character of the general vicinity. As I mentioned, the accessory structures, typically are restricted to only the rear yard, or in some cases the side yard, as long as they don't come closer to the street than the front of the existing house. So when we look at the topography of the applicant's site in the rear yard, roughly the proposed location of the array is roughly here where I've got my mouse. So we can see from the topography that the applicant is trying to take advantage of the higher points on the lot. You can tell from the topo lines that the property does slope down towards the rear of the lot somewhat significantly. So I think that the topography issues, as well as trying to take advantage of the high ground with the solar array, makes it a reasonable request for a variance. So because the request is reasonable, as well as staff's finding that it would not negatively impact the public health, safety, or welfare, I do recommend approval of this application with the same conditions that we've had on all 3 other applications this evening. I did receive an email from a neighbor. I didn't look which neighbor it was, on which side, but they did email to tell me they were in support of the application.
All right, is the applicant present?
Yes.
All right, Charlie, would you like to swear the applicant in, please?
Yes, sir. Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
You swear or affirm the statement you're about to give to be the truth to the best of your information and belief.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, thank you so much for hosting me, and been very impressed with this whole process, and Matt's really done a great job, and kind of really like the package he put together with the layout of the land for me.
Okay. You just want to explain to us what you're going to do?
Yes, ma'am. So going to
That'd
build
be
a solar panel array. The location that we'd like to go with is along that side yard there in the back. It parallels the fence that's already there. There's a tree line that the neighbor has that will mostly block the view of the array from her house. She and I have walked the land and talked about where it could be, and she was again in support. The reason I chose that spot is because of the high ground. It also is closest to the meter on the house where the array will get plugged into. So it made the most sense for our property.
All righty. Are there any other members present that would like to speak or question this request?
There's no one else present.
All right, thank you. Do any members of the board have questions or discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve S-2021-05, taking into account staff recommendations.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Janet.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sonia,
Yes,
did you say aye?
I said aye.
Oh, I didn't hear anybody but Janet, sorry.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna call you out. S 2021-05 has been approved, and I'll be interested to see this. It's kind of exciting.
Wait, I have a question
Yes.
on this.
Go ahead.
I actually live on Viley Lane. Can I come check this out when you get it built?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We've actually been discussing looking into that. So if someone else has done the groundwork for me, that would be wonderful.
So yeah, you need to do it before May, because that's when use rates change and they won't pay you full price back. It's called net metering. And so I'm doing it myself, but Solar Holler is a company out of West Virginia, and they did the panels over on Stamping Ground Road on the Bruins farm there, and the
Yes.
Red House has got panels just put up a couple months ago.
And my husband was looking at those. What was the name of the place?
It's called Solar Holler.
I
Okay.
love the name.
Yeah,
Me too.
no, their motto is they mine the sun, and so they
Oh,
take a
that's
lot of coal
great.
miners from West Virginia and put them to work doing installs of solar panels. And
Oh.
yeah, we're at a point now where the prices have come down so much on equipment that even if you take out a small loan to put it in, it produces more electricity than what the loan costs. So it pays for itself. And then in less than 10 years, it'll be completely paid off, and it's just straight profit at that point.
10 years, you said?
It'll be less than 10 years for sure, especially increased tax rebates that have just
Oh,
been approved. So,
Well, thank you for the
but yeah,
information.
definitely, I'm Blake, and I'm gonna break ground in a couple weeks. So, but keep your eyes open and feel free to swing by.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank
That
you.
goes to all of.
You taught us something.
Sorry, I'm very
Something.
passionate. Yeah, no, I love it.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank y'all.
All right, then that moves us on to the election of officers.
I don't have a lot to add, I guess, about election of officers. But kind of like the city board of adjustment, the bylaws actually kind of surprised me. They state that, January or as soon after is practicable, we should re-elect officers. So it is that time of year.
I say we keep officers as they are now.
The boss is,
Is that a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll second it.
You as chair and Darren as vice.
if I may, Janet, can I word your motion as you move those two be reelected by acclamation? And then if we get a second and a vote, we're done.
There you go. That'll work for me.
Sounds
How
good.
do I feel like I've been railroaded?
Because you have.
I was
Janet
trying
and
to
Sonia.
I was trying to let you guys make some comments or turn it down.
Hush,
But
Janet,
you've done a fabulous job, both of
Thank
you.
Darren?
I haven't accepted yet. I can still vote no, right?
I know. Yeah.
You'll be overruled. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
That's right.
I told you, we've just been railroaded.
Don't bother me. You only miss like once a year, so I'm good.
Okay. So do we have to vote?
Yeah, well, we need a second and a vote. Yes, ma'am.
I'll second it.
Oh. Janet and Sonia seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
Smile, Darren.
We will retain the elected members as chair and vice chair. All right, and then notification policy for conditional use permits.
Yes. So when I created the agenda, I had every intention of having some maps prepared for this, as I explained to the city board last month, but our GIS folks have been very busy and have not had a chance to get to those yet. So I'm requesting that we postpone this discussion to next month.
Bravo.
Well, I think we can probably allow that.
All right.
Woohoo, we're done.
Do we have to have a vote?
No, Chair,
Thank you.
you can just continue it generally.
We will continue this upon when Matt is prepared to present this.
Thank you.
All right. And if it's all okay with you all, let's adjourn the meeting and have a nice night.